Good morning, manifestors. It's Paula from the 411 on manifesting. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I had a really good weekend. I stayed home. I caught up on some housework and just got some things ready for Christmas and did some crocheting. So I actually had a nap, which was really nice. I really don't nap that much, so it was amazing. And I feel really good and I'm really ready to start the week. So this is our second episode in a series called The 7 Steps to Manifesting, and based on the book, so it's going to be backwards, Manifest by Roxy Nafouzi. So this is the second chapter and the second step in this series, which is removing fear and doubt based on limiting beliefs. So I teach limiting beliefs and manifesting classes. And honestly, this is probably the hardest portion of the class. Limiting beliefs are really what keep people stuck from having their manifestations come true. And it can be a really hard one for some people, especially if they've had some experiences throughout their life that kind of keep them stuck in certain spots. Because we all know that the universe does not hear excuses when it comes to manifesting. It does not care about your past and what you have been through. When you're manifesting, of course, the universe does not know the difference between what is real and what is in your imagination. So what you're visualizing to have happened to you. And when you have experiences in your life or things that have happened that are keeping you stuck, it really stops you dead in your tracks from manifesting. And this is a really hard one for a lot of people because a lot of our limiting beliefs are formed by the time we're 7 years old. There's actually scientific studies based on that. So for people that grew up with parents or caregivers that really had a fear around money, or money is evil, money doesn't grow on trees, or really disliked maybe people that had a lot of money. When you're a kid and you're hearing that is really how you take the thoughts of money kind of into your adult life. A lot of us do. I know I did. I know my mom did. It is generational as well. So it is a bit of a tricky one. And that also comes with relationships or love, how you were brought up. If you were brought up in a home where, love wasn't something that was available in your life, I guess, at the time as a child. If you didn't experience, a lot of touch or affection, things like that. And those are all things that we carry forward into our adult life. And we do that because we don't know any better as kids. And we do trust our parents and caregivers, teachers, members of the church, anything like that. We kind of, as kids, we really believe what we're told because we really trust the adults in our life. And sometimes those stories continue on as adults. However, when we didn't have really an option to believe things as kids, we do have an option on how to change our lives as adults and what we believe. Because I get this from a lot of people when I teach classes, like, you don't know my story. You don't have any idea what I've been through. How am I supposed to be positive after everything I've been through, after, this person did this to me or this happened? And, and I totally 100% understand that because I was a person who felt and was maybe victimized in my life a few times. And I carried that for way, way too long. And I mean, when something happened, stuff happens every day. And when something happens to you, let it happen. I mean, you don't, not let it happen, but feel the feelings that come along with that experience, but don't sit with it. And I think that a lot of us sit with things for way, way too long. We talk about things for way, way too long. We keep experiences that have happened to us very, very alive in our lives for a really long time. And it makes us very stuck because you cannot be happy and sad at the same time. You can't have an emotion. You can't be happy for someone when deep down you're jealous of them. You can't be, mad at somebody and pretend to love them. It's a very delicate balance, but you can't be two emotions at the same time. You're either up here or you're down here. And for those of you that have taken my class, you know that I do talk about that a lot. So staying in vibration and getting rid of limiting beliefs is a really, really big one. And limiting beliefs, man, they are all over the place. And when you kind of start to recognize them is when you actually become aware of them and when what you can do to get rid of them. So there is something called the decision matrix. I love, love, love the decision matrix. And what that is where you take a limiting belief, you write down the opposite of the limiting belief, and then you write down the change you're going to make to get rid of it. So I find that that's very effective when I struggle with a limiting belief, especially around money. So if I'm manifesting a certain amount of money, but I'm not really open to kind of other ways that money's going to come to me. And I used to actually do this a lot in the beginning when I was manifesting, is that I would literally manifest a certain amount of money, and it would be due to an event that maybe I was going to a market, or I was, had an opportunity where I could sell some stuff, and I would base it only on that event. And if it didn't happen, I was like really disappointed and kind of crushed. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't leaving myself open to other opportunities that may come. So when I started to do that, and I actually remember this very, very clearly because it was last year, but I was manifesting $500 for something that I wanted to buy for myself. I didn't want to put it on my credit card, and I did not want to take money out of my savings for it. So I really wanted to manifest it. And I did have a market, and I decided not to just leave it kind of based on this market. So, which was good because, we don't always do the way we want to do at markets. If you're a vendor, we all understand that. We just have to, and that's when I sort of started learning to take away from the experience of it. But what had happened at this market is somebody approached me and asked me to facilitate a class. And when everything was said and done, my cut was $500. So leaving yourself open to things and not just limiting yourself to kind of the one experience is really, really key. You can also have, rebates come off of a power bill, which is always, it's like a micro win, right? It's something that you can sort of put towards it. But limiting beliefs, they got to go. They got to go, or you're not going to get what you want. The universe does not respond to excuses. Excuses are a negative and low vibration, especially when you're using them to limit yourself from things. I know health is a real big one. Yeah, it's a real big one. But if you're talking about, issues that you have with your health, if you're making them very alive in your conversations all the time, it does not leave room for the universe to make your body well. If you're in low vibration due to a relationship that you have, if you're always complaining about it, if you're always talking about it, the universe will not bring you somebody good in your life that you need if you're keeping that vibration around all the time. So things like, there's no good men left, there's no good women left, that, those two type of things. So when you're sort of keeping that very alive in your conversations, your words are so, so powerful. How you talk about yourself to yourself, how you think about yourself, how you talk about yourself to other people. Like, I've had these conversations with some of my best friends before, like, I'm never going to lose weight. I'm never going to be able to go to the gym regularly, like things like that. Well, of course I'm not, because I'm saying it and I'm speaking it into existence. Saying things like, I'm never going to get my business off the ground. I remember having a conversation with a really good friend 2.5 years ago when I started Witchy Wears. Wow, 2.5 years. Nobody's going to buy my stuff, and there's so many crocheters out there, and, this and that. And that's simply not the case. I eliminated those conversations from myself and to who I was speaking to absolutely immediately, because that was 100% a limiting belief. It was based on fear of the unknown, because really that's what a limiting belief is. is that you're believing something that hasn't even happened yet. Like how do you know? How do you know that this money is not going to come? How do you know that this relationship is not going to come? Well, you don't know because it hasn't even happened yet. So it's not true. And that's 100% what a limiting belief is. It's simply not true. So do yourself a favor when you're manifesting. Get rid of those limiting beliefs. They do not serve you. They are not true. And Rome was not built in a day. It takes time. When I first became aware of my limiting beliefs, I probably, in the month span, because I started to keep track of them because there were so many, but you know, they were very small. They weren't always based around money. They were based around, I mean, I had them around my parents. I had them around some coworkers, some friends, like honestly, a lot of things, but it's stuff that creeps into your head and you're not even aware of it because it's been going on for so long. So keeping track of your limiting beliefs, writing them down, writing down the opposite of them, and realizing that they're simply not true. That's a really, really big one. I would encourage you to do that when you're manifesting, when you're just starting, especially if you're just starting on your manifesting journey, because limiting beliefs pop up so much and they keep us stuck. So that is episode 2 of the 7 Steps to Manifesting, based on the book by Roxie Nafousi. I will link her book in the comments, but I would love to hear any limiting beliefs that maybe you've squashed, if you feel comfortable enough to share them with me. There's a lot, there's a lot. It's not easy, this work, I'm telling you. It is not easy, but it is so worth it in the end. It's so worth it in the end. It is a lot. It's very exciting to do this work on yourself and to see how far you've come, especially when you look back kind of over the last couple of years and see sort of everything that you've really wanted to bring in your life has come true. And I know it has for me, and I've still got some really big things that I'm working on, and I still have to release some fear and some limiting beliefs around them. And I know when I do that they will happen for me. It's all a progress, and it's all like a procedure, and it's so damn exciting. Yay! Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video if you have not already subscribed to my channel. Have an amazing Monday and an amazing rest of your week, everybody. And if nobody tells you, I love you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.